I think the only way I can describe it is you'd have to experience it for yourself. You'd have to be behind the helm and cruise down the Severn or the Magothy River on a summer's day with your family and friends. Once you see their enjoyment, it just puts a smile on your face, and that's it's priceless. We're here in Severna Park in a storage facility that houses some of my toys, and inside is my pride and joy. So,
Ralph Catenio's love of wooden boats is woven into his DNA.
As a young lad, my dad had several Chris Crafts, and we would water ski behind them. And I grew up helping him every spring ready the boats for the season. So it was a labor of love.
Now he's found a new labor of love, a classic, just like he had when he was a kid.
Here we have a 1948 Chris Craft model Sportsman. It was a 3-year process to locate this boat. They only built 208 of them between 1940 and 1950. Of those, there are recorded 41 to exist.
It turns out these boats are rare because they weren't built to last several decades.
Initially, the life expectancy when this boat was built new was 7 years. And that's because of the materials that were used at the time to build them.
With these old wooden boats, there's more to it than getting to your destination. It's the journey in between that matters.
It starts off with the aroma, the smell of the mahogany, the smell of the seawater, the sound of lapping of the water against the hull.
From the 1920s to the 1950s, wooden boat manufacturers like Chris Craft, Trumpy, and Garwood ruled the waterways of America. Initially, these boats were hand-built, and only the rich could own such luxuries. But by the late 20s, an assembly line process made boating affordable to the middle class and changed the landscape of boating forever. But then, in the 1960s, fiberglass became all the rage, and all those wooden boats were left to the ravages of time. Those old mahogany boats set in motion a love affair that would last a century. Now, folks like Ralph are resurrecting these vessels back to their shining glory days, and in the process, revisit a bygone era.
Owning something like this, a wooden Chris Craft, it's all about the memories and the new memories that I'm creating, which draws me to it. So that's the hook. It's been in storage here for the last 9 months, and today it's on its way to the restoration shop where it will be reskinned. All of the exterior planking will be removed and refitted. So it's a big day for the boat, a big day for me.
I've been working on wooden boats for about 45 years of my life.
George Hazard runs wooden boat restoration in Chester, on Maryland's eastern shore.
A lot of my business is derived from nostalgia. A lot of the people grew up with these boats, remember them as kids, and want to reenact their childhood, and we're more than happy to help out. We work on big boats, small boats, doesn't matter, as long as it's wood, it's good. Life's too short to go out in an ugly boat, so.
George has built a career giving these old vessels a new lease on life.
There's an absolute reward to bringing something back that should have been cut up. In our throwaway society, Everybody else is just like, why don't you just get a new one? Wouldn't it be easier just to buy one already finished? Wouldn't you be? But part of the challenge and part of the fun of doing it is meeting that challenge.
Hundreds of wooden boat enthusiasts across the Mid-Atlantic gather for the annual Antique and Classic Boat Show at the Maritime Museum in St. Michaels, Maryland. Wooden classics of all shapes and sizes, runabouts, race boats, yachts, and even a sailboat or two are on display, on land and in water. Part of the fun is a contest that judges the restoration. George is one of the judges.
We're judging right now. We're judging different people's boats. The finish work, the quality of the finish, the hardware. We look for different things. You can see scratches in the finish here.
But no matter their ranking, every one of these boat owners will be the first to tell you they have the fever.
It was a 3-year project in the garage, taking up my wife's parking space. I figured the least I could do was name the boat after her.
This is the fourth Coronado my family has owned. So we've had them, I've grown up with these things.
It's a 1928 model number 1 Chris Craft, 22 foot, and I fell in love with it. It needed saving, so I saved it.
It's safe to say that Ralph and George are not alone in their love for old wooden boats.
There is absolutely nothing like the sound and the feel of a low RPM, high torque, old V8 in a wood boat. There's something about it. There's a romance to it that you just can't get anywhere else.
Hey, George. Here it is.
Wow, it sure is.
Yeah,
My goodness.
it's all there.
Yeah.
Can you make that float?
So when was the last time she was in the water, do you know?
Sometime around 1990.
For Ralph, bringing this old boat back from the brink is a personal journey. But in the end, it becomes bigger than him.
I consider myself just a caretaker till the next ownership. Obviously, I'm not going to be around forever, but the boat can be.
Soon enough, Ralph will once again cruise the river in the boat of his youth.
I see it as a 2-year project. Yeah, I'm in no rush. And as soon as I finish it, the problem is I might want to do another. You never know, It's a labor of love, and that's me.